I picked up the DeWalt DW788 scroll saw, and today I'm going to walk you through some of its features and let you know if I think it's worth paying the premium price for this kind of machine over an entry-level machine such as this Ryobi. Stick with us. Of note for this video, I did pay for this with my own money. This is not a sponsored video. Same with this one, so no bias there. This video is going to focus on the DeWalt. I have another video out for the Ryobi. You can check that out up in this corner here, I think. You could probably guess that since I have another scroll saw now, my opinions may have changed on this one. So the Ryobi had some issues, and ultimately what led me to get a new one was this tensioner adjustment broke on the end. I was going to take it apart to fix it, but with other features in it that I wasn't really happy with anyway, I decided to take the plunge and go for a higher level model. Because we use the scroll saw far more than I was expecting. For one, I used it a lot more for projects to make little pieces that I needed to do other woodworking projects or other things around the house. Suzanne actually used the scroll saw a lot more than I was expecting. And my daughter also used the scroll saw all the time to make Christmas ornaments and things like that. So it got used a ton. So I just decided, instead of trying to get this one fixed up where I wasn't totally happy with it anyway, I would just go for it and get a higher level model scroll saw and go with that. So to start out here, I'm going to go through the assembly of this thing, which is pretty quick, but we'll go through that and then we'll come back with some of the features. Do not lift scroll saw by upper arm. Okay, so it's shipped laying on its side. So far, so good. A little Millennium Falconish. And this is actually pretty heavy. So this is what was in the box. There's some paint chipping around this, if it'll focus. But otherwise looks okay. That's just superficial, but still, it'd be nice if it wasn't there. So there's the unit itself, the base. And this is nice, heavy base, and it's large with only a small hole for the blade, which is an improvement over the scroll saw I used to have, which had that plastic insert in the middle. I like this idea a lot better. In terms of hardware, there's the instruction manual that comes with a couple of very small blades, a couple of thumb screws to actually install those blades, a couple of screws to mount the base to the unit, Allen key for those, and I didn't know what this was at first, but I think it's the tool to pry out the fuse in case you need to replace the fuse. All right, let's get the base on this thing. Okay, so to put this base on, there's a hole in the back here, right here, that we need to line up with this pin. So let's do that first. Okay, that's back flush. Okay, not sure what you can see here, but to attach the base, you need to put a screw in here, one of these here that came with it, and then another one on the other side over here. Do that now. That's one side, start it. You can lift that a little bit to get it started, make it a little bit easier. And then once you get it started, you can tighten them down. Is that side tight? Oh, I love Allen keys. That's on there pretty secure now. In the last little bit of assembly, is to put the thumb screw in. There is a set screw in this side. I don't know if you can see that in there, but there is one. It's recessed. That's okay. And the thumb screw is just going to go in here, and this is what's used to pinch the blade. And then I also want to put the thumb screw in the bottom. Put it almost tight, well, tighten it up, but then loosen it a little bit. And then I'm going to put a blade down through the top. I don't know how clear this is going to be on this screen, but I will put a blade in. Make sure the teeth are facing the front and they are pointing down. There we go, got it that time. Nice and snug between the set screw and the thumb screw. And I can say I do like this system better already. The Ryobi I had before, the thumb screw actually was used to pull these pieces together to pinch the blade. This just turns the thumb screw against the set screw, and it's pretty easy to tighten up. And then to put tension on the blade, it has the adjuster right here, and you just pull that across the desired tension. I'll try 4 for now, just with the blade that came with it. Test it out. I don't really know what it should be set to yet, but that's all part of scroll sawing, is figuring that out as you go. So next I want to check that the table is square to the blade, or perpendicular to the blade. So to do that I just moved up this material hold down piece. And I will say, this thumb screw out of the box, I couldn't actually turn it to loosen it. I had to put a set of pliers on it to open it for the first time, but now that I've done that, it's easy to move. But just in case yours is like that, you know. And I'm going to check this, that 0 degrees on my protractor down below is square, and that looks pretty good to me. You probably can't tell from that angle in the camera, but that is probably as square as I'm going to get. Good to check before you start doing much. Okay, I have it set up, ready to go. I've got a few test pieces all set up. I'm going to turn it on now, but I do have it wired to my foot switch that I used for the old one. And for this, the DeWalt, the switch on off is up here. So we'll turn that on. Your speed controls right here. Your tension, we talked about already, is right there. And we can flip this, start it going. And one thing I noticed already is that this is fine, but if I crank up the speed, it gets quite loud once you get to about 6. Like, that's not bad. A little bit louder. There we go, see? And that's really loud. Maybe it's different when you're cutting a piece, but I guess we'll find out shortly. This I'll put somewhere down here. This is the blower to keep the dust away. Let's lower the hold down. Put it somewhere down here. You don't want it to pinch too much. That's pretty good. All right, and let's try it out. All right, first piece done, not too bad. No fault of the saw, just my own lack of skill. Okay, now I want to test out putting the blade through a hole in the work for some fretwork. So first thing we're going to do is release the tension. Actually, make sure it's off. That's probably the first thing you should do. And then you just release the blade with the thumb screw. And this is supposedly will just lift. And okay, this is a little low, so I'm gonna move this up out of the way. Put it through the work. Put this back down. Okay, tighten that up there. Put the tension back on. That was about 4.5, and that was working well. Can lower this back down. Reset my air hose. And turn it on. Back on my foot pedal again. And see how this goes. Not too bad. Certainly a lot easier to put this through your piece than the old scroll saw that I had. So let's turn that off. Release tension. Lift this up. And yeah, now it's free. See, that takes a few seconds, where the old way was a lot more painful than that. Anyway, let's keep going. Well, that's interesting. I think I lost the blade on the lower piece. And I was about a few seconds from finishing. See if I can get the blade out. I got a long way to go. Actually, why don't I just lift it up? There. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. This blade, let's see if I can keep going with it. All right, might be going to call this blade a lost cause. 2 seconds away from being done. But at least it came with 2, right? All right. Blade changed. Let's finish this off. It was literally like 2 seconds till I finished. I'm gonna chalk that one up to user error. I didn't have the blade tightened enough on the bottom apparently. Or maybe I had the tension too tight. That could be as well. But it's probably a combination of both. It was a good run, boys. Most fun I had watching baseball in about a decade. One of the things with the DeWalt that, while very handy, is this arm can lift up. It got old pretty quick because it wouldn't be supported on its own, so I was just jamming a stick of wood in here to hold it while I put the blade through the piece of work. So what I did was, let me just release this blade here. Now you'll see when I lift it, it stays. And all I did was, and it's this here screw, the one that was marked up when I got it, I just tightened this like a quarter turn, barely tightened it, and it's enough to hold this up in the air, and it'll stay on its own, and it just pushes back down when you need it to. So I'm not saying you should do that because it's a little bit of a modification from out of the box, but it works for me, and no ill effects so far. So there goes the trial run of this thing. I really like it so far, and you know, the multiple reasons. I love the flat, nice big surface. The depth, the cutting depth is great. It's got plenty of power in the motor. I was frustrated with this arm not staying up to change the piece. While I like that idea, but changing that screw and tightening it really made a difference. This works well. The whatever you call it, dust blower, keeps it clean, makes it easy to cut, easy to see what you're doing. This was nice and square to the blade right out of the box, which I appreciate. These controls are super handy. Everything's right here. Your speed's here, your on-off switch. Although I'm using the foot switch, but still, if you're not using a foot switch, it's handy to have it right here on top. The tension adjustment is super quick and easy. And I mentioned this before, but I like the pinching mechanism for the blades as opposed to the clamp on the old saw that I had. Is it worth the premium price? That depends, I suppose. It's worth it to me. Definitely for the amount that it gets used. It feels like a professional device. The old one had some quality issues and feels like a small toy in comparison, to be honest. But again, there's a huge price difference. So if you're starting out, there's nothing wrong with going this route here. Just understand the limitations and that you might end up where I was. So there you have it on the DeWalt saw. The big question being, is it worth it to pay something like this over something like this, an entry-level one? This was about 3 times the cost, a little bit less than 3 times, but still, that's a big difference when you're buying a scroll saw. And I would say it's all going to depend. For me, absolutely, this is, I like this. Obviously, it's a better saw. It's a much higher price point. We're not really comparing that. But it does make this one feel like a toy and very much a hobby level machine, whereas this feels more professional and just easier to use, simplicity. It's faster to use with the being able to lift the arm to change the blade, release the tension here is great. It's easy. Your speed controls at hand. The work surface is nice and big, and plus you have the extra room with the 20-inch space here on the back, where this one here only has 16. So the big question is, how much are you going to use it? If you're still only using it for odds and ends, small projects, not very often, I still don't have an issue with the Ryobi or something similar. There's a lot of similar designs at that price point. But if you think in any way that you're going to be using it a lot, and you think there might be others in your family or household that are going to be using it as well, it might be worth it to start out with the higher end machine. And what I would suggest is take a look, see if you can find one used, go that approach, try and save some money that way. But I know this is more expensive, but there's really no comparison between the two machines. In my opinion, very much worth it. Good luck to you, and let me know what you get yourself and what you think. If you like this, hit like, hit subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.